I watch the Olympics.
Yeah.
I love sports.
So fun.
We genuinely do not need them. Every single one of these sports
has a world championship every year.
World championship
every year. That's
every
better,
year.
less
you
corrupt.
could be watching the fucking sprinters. You could be watching the 100-meter sprint. You could be watching the girls all around every year. They don't put it on TV. You could just watch this. We don't have to all go to Sochi or wherever the and build all this shit.
Having.
This week, would-be investors in Squid Coin, a cryptocurrency leveraging the success of the hit Netflix show, found themselves with empty pockets after the scam artists behind Squid cashed in the coins and made off with $3.3 million before disappearing, which does seem very much in the spirit of Squid Game. But the truth of the matter is we've all been scammed, perhaps. But which scams rise to the top of our grift-based culture? Here to decide who wins the grift bracket, please welcome Sam Sanders of NPR's It's Been a Minute. Hi, Sam.
Hey there. Oh, my God.
The
email said, the stairs are steep, be careful. And I almost tripped.
Give me some bow. Give me some bow. I don't know what we're doing. Yeah. I don't know.
Nice to meet you. Likewise. Good to be here.
Here's how this is going to work. We have a grift bracket.
Oh, this is nice.
We got a lot of grifts. We got a 16. It's a sweet 16 of grifts. We are going to take you through each one. Adam and Sam are going to help us figure out who wins. I'm not going to read them all. We're going to go through matchup by matchup. Let's start with the first seed, I think. Don't know how seeds work. Up first, Fyre Festival with Billy McFarland and Ja Rule. Rich millennials spent thousands of their parents' dollars so they could eat soggy ham and cheese sandwiches on an island versus Squid Coin, the $3.3 million rug pull. What is the worst grift?
I don't care about the Fyre Festival because fuck them kids.
Right.
Everybody at Fyre Festival, I was like, okay, you'll be fine. Also, Ja. I like him still.
Wow. So that's an argument for Squid Coin. What do you think?
I mean, let's see. Both burned a lot of fossil fuels. The kids.
That's true.
Getting there versus the cryptocurrency. But I honestly think it's worse to attend an event and not be fed or have a place to sleep. So
they were fed. You saw the sandwiches. It was food.
That's true. That's true. You really feel better for the Fyre Festival kids than the crypto investors?
I still don't know what crypto is, so I can't offer any comment on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're in their own little cult, but no, I'm gonna say I think Fyre Festival is actually bigger. I think
I'm gonna break the tie. I gotta say Fyre Festival.
There were 2 documentaries on it. It's a big deal.
But because there were documentaries on it.
Yeah.
All right, so Fyre Fest takes the first game. Next up, we have Theranos versus Elon Musk's Subway for Cars. Elizabeth Holmes swindled investors from billions. Elon Musk is just tunnels. Tunnels with math that doesn't make sense. Adam, I'll start with you.
I gotta go. I mean, I've been on this show before. You know my feelings about Elon Musk. Theranos very funny and very bad. Big scam. People lost money. But Elon Musk Subway for Cars, people still believe it today. There are mayors who are saying, Elon, I'll give you $1 billion if you build one for me here in Boise or whatever. So I gotta say it's worked much better. So it's
ongoing. It's an ongoing scam.
Yeah, you could go fucking ride one in Vegas, I think, at this point.
Cool.
And it's shitty.
Sam, what do you think?
I'm gonna go ahead and say here I feel for Theranos woman. Because did y'all see the text that she would send to her boyfriend who was also in Theranos? And she'd be like, you're my moon, my stars, I love you, we're going to take over the world. And then the next day he'd write back, yeah, cool. I feel for her, so she can't lose. She has to advance.
I'm going to give you that one. We're going to go Theranos. Is going to advance that one.
You think it's a reward for her to do well in the bracket?
I think she's listening. And I think she knows. Elizabeth, if you hear me, it gets better.
First of all, I met her and she was very charismatic and I also believed her. But
did she use the voice though?
Oh, yes.
The individual is the answer to the challenges of healthcare.
But the thing that these two stories have in common actually is the blood test that Theranos wanted to do doesn't make sense because blood is too variable. You simply cannot get that. That amount of information isn't contained in a drop of blood. You must have more blood to get the information. And the Elon Musk...
Okay, vampire.
The Elon...
You must have more blood.
You have more tasty, delicious virgin blood. in the night. But the Elon Musk tunnel is fantastic because it's like, hey, man, tunnels aren't just about tunnels. Cars have to get in and out of those things. And if you want a couple hundred or 1,000 cars going through that thing every couple minutes, you need vast openings.
Yeah.
Vast openings.
Theranos
moves on. Sam, I'm going with Sam on that one. Next up, we have Lularoe, as documented in Lula Rich, the pyramid scheme about terrible pants versus credit scores. Sam, I'll start with you.
Mine just got good, so I love credit scores.
Very. You know what I appreciate this? You're bringing a personal energy
Real
to
personal.
these head-to-heads.
Real personal. I made some moves. I watched all 4 parts of Lula Rich. Did a segment on my show about it because I was obsessed. Because, spoiler alert, at the end of the saga of the Lularoe tights, the leader of the cult, she wants so badly for all of the devotees of the tights cult to be like her and to be like sisters, basically. She starts to tell all of them to get like gastric bypass surgery. And then she says, if you want to do it, I know a guy. And then she gets a kickback when any of the tights people get the gastric bypass. So
Wow.
that is more legendary than any other credit score scam.
I've never heard of a gastric bypass pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Me neither.
What do you
It's
think?
not cool. I mean, but
No, it's not cool.
I don't know what Lularoe is
you're missing
because
out.
I don't watch Netflix documentaries.
Amazon
Amazon
Prime.
Prime.
It's a pyramid scheme for leggings.
Multi-level marketing officially.
That's really what it is, and it dragged in a lot of people who are like, I know what I'll do for money. I'll infuriate my friends by trying to sell them leggings.
Got it. As opposed to like a country-spanning social credit system that like destroys the lives of like hundreds of millions of people that we're all subject to, where the very websites that you use to check the credit scores,
Hurt your credit score.
half of them are scams to the extent that the government had to create its own site called annualcreditreport.com, which is the only one you should use. And you know that because when you go there, it has a big thing that says, this is the only credit site that you should use. The other ones are all scams. Please only use this one because this is the only real one. Yeah, I think that's the bigger scam.
I think it's a bigger scam too. But you're also forgetting, in fairness to them, they've also had terrible data hygiene and been entrusted with vast quantities of it while not successfully protecting it.
Oh yeah,
We have to use them, and we're not actually their customers, and yet we're forced to engage with these companies that have sold our privacy away.
Yeah.
Basically. So yeah, we're giving it to the credit scores.
Yeah.
We're giving it to the credit
I'm
scores.
gonna go with that. It's okay.
We're going with the credit scores. Next up, we have Shaun King social justice sweatshirts versus Samir Rao, Ozzy's co-founder. So basically, we have a $165 sweatshirt that may or may not be sent versus a completely manufactured media company in which someone did a fake voice on a call to pretend they were from
Can
YouTube.
I ask why Samir Rao versus anybody else at
Carlos
Ozzy?
Watson's the
Or
real
Ozzy?
scammer, right? He's the real
Yeah, I thought he
grifter.
was the guy.
Well, he was the one who did the voice.
Oh, he did the fake
He
voice.
went on the Goldman Sachs call and said, YouTube loves these guys. I'm from YouTube. I don't know why that's... I'm from YouTube and I love these guys. Ozzy, everybody loves Ozzy videos. You can't get enough of this Ozzy content. Carlos Watson, huge fucking
Where's he
star.
from? This Samir Rao.
I don't know.
Feels Jersey a little.
We need an answer, fellas.
I gotta say, Ozzy, because that's the only one that was advertised to me on like bus benches in Los Angeles.
Yep.
Where Carlos Watson would just be like, Carlos Watson knows what's happening, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then it turned out nobody. He was nobody. He just put himself on bus benches. So.
I think it's a cool example, too, of like, oh, wow, yeah, I'm sure their PowerPoint's cool. Have you seen anything they've ever done anywhere?
No.
You've seen any, like, oh, we're going to invest in them. Like, I get it if you can fall for a scam, like that's like a software scam or your Theranoses or what have you. But like, one way a media company exists and proves it's successful is by existing in the world that you see with your eyeballs.
At least you could get a free copy of Vice at a dive bar on the Lower East Side. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, at least I've held one in my hands.
You good with Ozzy?
I'm not mad with them taking all those investors' money because they have money to burn.
Yeah, that's true.
I am perpetually intrigued with Shaun King because he's actually a real scammer, like through and through. And like every few months, parts of the internet wonder aloud if he's black or not. And that's funny to me.
That's just part of it. That's part of it. All right, we're giving it to Ozzy because they were on park benches in LA. Next up, we have Adam Newman and WeWork versus Jamie Spears and his conservatorship. WeWork turned a room and desk rental system into a fake revolutionary, future-shaking fake business. And Jamie Spears was like, nah, I got to take your money. You're going to buy too many cars, you know?
I'm going to say we've already got a couple ones up here where the main victims were people who were already incredibly wealthy, like the people who invest in Theranos and Ozzy and all those sorts of things. So the WeWork one would just be another one of those. Like the Jamie Spears, because he's fucking over his own daughter. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Poor lady. And she's rich too, but, you know, she doesn't get any of the money. And, you know, it's indicative of a broader problem that isn't currently represented on the board.
I think that's a good argument. Also, Sam, curious what you think about the level of brazenness this requires. He was, I think maybe still, or until he left the conservatorship, he was paying the crisis communicators messaging why he took over his daughter's fortune using the money he was taking from the conservatorship. So when she was trying to get out of it, he used the money to hire PR people and lawyers to message what was going on with her trying to stop her father from doing this. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's the worst thing ever. And yeah.
Jamie Spears takes it. Next up, Facebook's fake pivot to video, in which they manipulated the data and lied to companies that then decided to follow what Facebook was saying, only to later be told that it was entirely fictional and causing them to shutter and close all kinds of jobs, versus Wells Fargo making checking accounts and credit cards no one asked for or wanted to goose their numbers, then blaming the low-level people instead of taking responsibility at the highest level. Wells Fargo versus Facebook.
They did my mom. Wells Fargo got my mom, and my brother found it. It was fine. She's all right. But, like, fuck them.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
What do you think? I know where you are.
I have personal stories about both of these.
Let's hear it.
The first one is about Wells Fargo. A couple years ago, my agent emails me and say, hey, you want to do this? You want to audition for this voiceover for Wells Fargo? And the ad was, we at Wells Fargo understand we made a mistake.
Did you say no?
I said, there's no fucking world in which I could put. I was like, do you know what I do? Like, I can't. Not in a million years. I hope the person who did it made a lot of money. But so that's the other one. No,
not in a million years for that much is what I would say.
Oh, yeah. And then it turned out they only offered me. No, Facebook's, you know why? Because Facebook's pivot to video killed College Humor, the website that I used to work at, and many other websites. I remember I was in my office, in the workplace. We published videos on our own website. We published videos on YouTube. We made money there. I remember the day my boss said to me, you got to see these numbers we're getting on Facebook. We got to start posting more videos on Facebook. Start posting everything on Facebook. No way to monetize. Found out, 5 years later, the company's basically gone, and we find out that they just made up all the view numbers. They just made up the view numbers. So that was personal to me. They honestly did fuck over. There's no longer an internet comedy industry. There once was one.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you call this comedy, which I don't, but...
I just got here,
this
man.
Is
wow,
doing
what's
okay.
going on?
I want you all to know something. I saw that was like a slow motion. Like a cake falling. I saw it. I saw him moving towards it like a raptor in Jurassic Park, and I was looking straight ahead, but he came at me from the side. You know what I mean? Wells Fargo or Facebook?
I mean, Wells Fargo's the worst.
Wells Fargo's the worst. We're going with Wells
Corporate
Fargo.
banks are the worst. Credit unions, the way to go.
It did hurt many more people.
Next up, Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson holding hands on a roller coaster versus, and this is a tough one, the way Chipotle scoops guacamole into the little cup. We see how they put so much air in that cup. They put a spoon in, then they put a spoon on top, then they smooth the top, and they leave so much air. Who added that?
That's not grift.
That is a grift.
No, because if you see it once and you don't like it, get your guac somewhere else, bro. It's Southern California. It's not a grift.
It is a grift.
If you think it's a grift,
if they wanted to give
hand.
us less guacamole,
Don't
they're
raise your hand.
suggesting it's this size, but the actual amount they're giving could fit in a smaller cup, but they don't want to do that.
So you want the underpaid farmers in Mexico to have to make more avocados and get
Can I tell
the
y'all
cartels so that you can get all your precious, I want my good fats. Like, fuck you. You shouldn't even have any guacamole, okay?
Chipotle
You
life
don't
hack.
need it.
Chipotle life hack. If you're just getting chips and guac, you can skip the line. And everyone's mad at you. And you're like, I don't fucking care.
Wait, what's the scam with?
What is-
Why
what
is
is-
Kim K and Pete a scam? You just don't buy it?
I don't buy it.
I don't think. No,
I don't buy
but
it.
here's the
I
thing.
think it's. I don't
What's
buy
not
it.
to buy?
I don't
they
buy
were on
it.
a roller coaster. They were screaming. They
Come
held
on.
hands.
What are they talking about? What are they talking about while waiting for the photo? You know what I mean?
I think they
Come on.
neutralize each other. She ruins every person she's with. He kind of ruins every person he's with. So they might last forever, not a grift.
Well, I guess then either one that you choose will be easy to defeat in the second round. Chipotle wins my fucking show.
Go for it.
Chipotle.
Next up, we have college versus the Olympics. College. Sam, you kick us off. College or the Olympics? What's a bigger scam?
I covered an Olympics and the Sochi ones, 2014. And yo, it's a scam. Like, so this Winter Olympics was like on the sea. Like it was a beach climate. There was a beach resort. And all of the housing they build for the athletes and the journalists, it is like tenement housing. And after it's done, you just leave and it falls to shit and it's just bad. And everyone cheats and Russia is always doping and like, biggest grift, biggest scam in the Olympics. End them.
Counterpoint. What do you get when you get a general studies major? You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. You fucking learned something. I don't know. Like, what? It's up to you if you don't want to go to class. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I find college, at least. There's bad colleges. College debt is a scam. Your bracket does not say college debt, all right?
Yeah.
But the actual action of going to college, learning, bettering oneself, you know, understanding the world around us, education and being the most important thing we can do for ourselves and as a society, very important. The Olympics, I watch the Olympics.
Yeah.
I love sports.
So fun.
We genuinely do not need them. Every
Thank you.
single one of these sports
Has a
is
world
competed,
championship
has
every
a
year.
world championship
Every year. That's
every
better,
year.
less
you
corrupt.
could be watching the fucking sprinters. You could be watching the 100-meter sprint. You could be watching the girls all around every year. They don't put it on TV. You could just watch this shit. We don't have to all go to Sochi or wherever the fuck
I
and
want
build
what
all
you're
this shit.
having.
They're just doing it. You can they're fucking doing it at like University of Oregon next year. Just like fly to fucking Eugene. It's $100 flight, all right? It goes from Burbank. It's so fast.
Oh, it's nice if you fly from Burbank. It's nice if you fly from Burbank.
Burbank.
I
not a
like
great-
it.
Burbank.
Great
to
airport.
Burbank. I like it. I like it when a city builds a stadium to be used once. I think single-use stadiums are a great idea. All right,
It's
we're
like
giving
a
it
big Legos.
Yeah,
You know, you
it's
build
like-
it and then you're like, now what?
now that it's like one giant soccer game, then occasional small local dog festivals for the
When I
next
was in
30
Sochi
years.
that year, it's like on the water, so it wasn't cold enough. They had snow machines the whole time.
Yeah.
In Russia, they could have just gone north. It's a scam.
It's a scam. The
grift.
Olympics takes this one. All right, we're gonna cruise. We've analyzed each of them. Now it's time for the Elite 8 of scams. Fyre Festival versus Theranos. What do you think?
Theranos.
Giving it to Theranos.
More
Okay, I
impactful.
don't know.
It's going to Theranos. Anything that involves scamming like 4-star generals rules and this should be winning.
But I see Ja, I just love him and I want him to win.
That's not how this
This
works.
is losing.
No,
This
but it's
is
about who
better.
I like the best.
Credit scores versus Ozzy.
Credit score.
We're getting it to credit scores. It's not even close.
Credit scores.
All right, then we got Jamie Spears versus Wells Fargo. That is a tough fight.
Wells Fargo is the worst.
Wells Fargo.
Wells
Fargo's
Fargo.
the worst.
Wells Fargo takes it. All right, not going to be our toughest competition.
Yeah. Make
in
your
a-
own guac,
Look,
bro.
here's the thing.
Make your own guac.
The Bucknell of the bracket, Chipotle guacamole versus Duke, the Olympics.
Make your own
We're
guac.
giving it to the Olympics. We're giving it to the Olympics.
yeah, I think
but you
we gotta
know what
do
I
it.
mean about how they scoop that
No
fucking
one
guac.
knows what you mean.
You know what real people do.
Wow.
You coastal fucking jerks don't know how much the real people are dealing with the guacamole issue. All right? And by the way, sometimes if you don't get it in the cup and they scoop it on top of your burrito bowl, it's incredibly variable how much you're going to get.
You know, they've had multiple E. coli outbreaks.
I
but
know. I will tell you about a
Tell
scam
me.
I pulled, which is that after the E. coli scare, they'll just give you Chipotle. You don't even have to pay.
You're in Southern California.
You bet.
Los Angeles.
Uh-huh.
And you're getting burritos and guac at Chipotle.
This is my
Now,
question.
come on now. Now, come on now. That's the grift. That's the scam. God damn
There we
it.
go.
Woo.
Let me shake your hand.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
correct.
Chipotle.
Give me a break with that.
Chipotle.
Here's the thing.
You got
What's
any
the
problems
thing?
with
What's the
Subway?
thing?
What do you want to do?
Sometimes I don't want great tacos. Sometimes what I want is Chipotle. I don't think of those as the same things. In the same way that I don't consider, do you want to go get a burger? Never leads me to McDonald's. I go to McDonald's when I want
He had a
McDonald's.
McDonald's cup backstage. Oh my God! What is happening?
Final four, Theranos versus credit scores.
Credit scores.
Can I
Credit-
motion for Ja again? I want him
No,
to
Jaw's
win.
out. Jaw is out.
All right.
Credit scores takes it. And then we have Wells Fargo versus the Olympics. It's tough. That's a tough fight.
Olympics.
Olympics versus Wells Fargo.
No,
Wells Fargo almost brought
I
down
think-
the global
I think
financial
Wells Fargo
system.
has ruined more lives than the Olympics.
Wells
has.
Fargo-
Oh, you're right. The
Wells
impact
Fargo's
is
ruined more
worse
lives.
on the people.
Wow. Look at this. This is a tough, what do you call the final two?
Finals.
Championship. The finals.
sports ball.
The final match. It is credit scores versus Wells Fargo. I would say that is a
No. The question is, which one would go away if the other wasn't there?
That's right. Well, it's Frankenstein versus Frankenstein's monster in a lot of ways.
Banks
You know what I
can't
mean?
exist without credit scores.
Yeah.
But can credit scores exist without banks?
Yeah, but Wells Fargo is one bank. Credit scores is like the system that all the banks
Yeah.
got together to build
Yeah.
to fuck us all.
Right. Wells Fargo are like, the credit scores are the Borg, you know? They'll
Yeah.
absorb us into their collective.
Yeah.
Wow, the biggest
Credit
grift of them
scores.
all, defeating Jamie Spears, Theranos, Ozzy, the greatest scam. Also defeating the other great scam in our society, Chipotle guacamole amounts.
The greatest scam is living in Southern California and giving a shit about Chipotle guacamole.
Credit scores are the winner. Thank you so much to Sam Sanders and Adam Conover.